Well, Jason Day is the head of EMEA region at Luma AI and joins us now. Thank you very much indeed for taking the time to speak to us. Can we just start by asking you to tell us a bit about Luma AI and tell us how it all got started and where you see things heading?
Yeah, I mean, Luma is a relatively young company. We're less than 4 years old, and we're a foundational AI research lab. So what that means is that we have some amazing scientists, engineers, developers who are working on the frontier of AI models. And what we're really focused on is something called multimodal AI or world models. So this means that instead of training in a very linear way or developing our models in a very linear way or being focused only on text or only on image, we're focused on every single modality that a model can be trained on. So that's video, that's audio, that's text, that's image, that's everything. And that's really the core of the business, and that's the core of the research that we're doing. And we're absolutely delighted about the models that we're developing and the products that we're also launching as part of that.
Okay, thanks for that intro, Jason. Just who is the end user here? Is it someone young who perhaps wants to have a bit of fun? Are we talking about much more serious end users, sort of blue chip companies, for example?
Yeah, I mean, really, the product that we're launching today is designed for the whole creative community. So that could be filmmakers, producers, it could be B2B organizations, advertising agencies, blue chip brands, and it also could be people who are creative in their own right and want to be going to do amazing creative work within our platform. If I think about some of our existing customers, certainly we have a great relationship and great pedigree with large multinational enterprises, be it Publicis, for example, or Service Plan, a global agency in Europe. But also we have a large B2C customer base as well that we're very focused on ensuring that they love our technology, love our model, love our product, and are continuing to love our model and product.
Okay, now you've announced that you're making your regional headquarters for Luma AI in Saudi Arabia. Why did you decide to do that?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, we've got an amazing partner in HUMAIN who led our Series C investment round, which we announced in November. So that means that not only are we going to be benefiting from the infrastructure developments that HUMAIN are making as part of Project Halo, but also it's a very natural place for us to be putting our regional headquarters. Number one, it's a significant market. It's one of the leading market in the Middle East. Number two, our key strategic partner is based there. And number three, we're seeing an increasing roadmap of great talent that's moving to Riyadh. So all of those things coming together means that we can really build a really good regional HQ, be very, very close to our strategic partners, and by extension then work very closely with both the public sector and the private sector in Saudi Arabia. And we've got some fantastic customers who we're working very closely with already that we're delighted to be helping transform their business and how they do creativity over the coming months.
Okay, now you just mentioned HUMAIN there, and that prompted my next question. I mean, where do you see Saudi Arabia and HUMAIN, for that matter, on the global AI map?
Yeah, I mean, the way we look at things is AI is very sort of AI from an engineering and from a development perspective is very clustered. So there's a clear cluster on the west coast of the United States. That's where our global headquarters is. There's a cluster in China. There's a cluster in Western Europe, and there's absolutely a cluster in the Middle East. And when we think about the investments that are happening in Saudi Arabia, led by HUMAIN and the PIF and MCIT, the appetite around data centers, around the compute infrastructure, around around helping us hire people in Riyadh. This isn't just we're not talking about people who are sort of, we're looking at people who are engineers and developers who are highly educated, have got a huge amount of relevant experience, but also people that we can continue to train up. So when you're putting together that mixture of infrastructure, policy framework, and frankly, hunger and ambition that the kingdom has, those things all together make it not only a very exciting place for us to operate and for me to operate, and I've seen that transformation over the last 11 or 12 years since I first went to the kingdom. But it also means commercially, it's an exciting place for us to be, and it's a very rational place for us to be because the opportunity is there. So when you put all those things together, infrastructure, talent availability, regulatory framework, and commercial opportunity, it really doesn't take, you really don't need to think about it very long.
Okay. Now, I wanted to ask you a little bit about talent and recruitment. Are you finding that you've managed to find the right people that you need, the right talent, or are you having to invest a lot in training?
Yeah, so we've got we are growing at a very, very healthy rate. So we are obviously hiring, and we as a company are very, very focused on making sure that we bring in best in class talent. So when I think about the roles that we're hiring for in the Middle East, for example, I would say that the available talent pool is much larger than what it was even 2 or 3 years ago. If I think about where it was immediately after COVID, certainly when I was working in Saudi then, there was really a requirement to be making sure that you were flying people in and relying heavily on expats. What I would say now in 2026 is the pipeline is very healthy. So we have excellent candidates that are coming into our talent acquisition pipeline. We've got excellent candidates that are then being shortlisted, because obviously, it's the funnel gets narrower as you get closer to hiring someone. So the talent that's getting shortlisted is very, very good. And then lastly, the people that I'm then interviewing in final rounds is very, very good. So I think it's a combination of having the right sort of reputation. It certainly helps that we've got a great partnership with HUMAIN. It helps that our technology and our product is very, very strong. It helps having the right people supporting us on a daily basis, both internally and externally. But we are seeing some very, very good talent, both Saudi nationals and non-Saudi national talent that we are interviewing. And I'm delighted to say that we announced our regional HQ, Riyadh HQ, just last month. And we will be well into the sort of high single digits of employees in that regional HQ by the middle of Q2. So we're very focused on bringing in the right people, but we're seeing the right people coming through our talent pipeline, which is fantastic.
Now, tell us, which industries is Luma AI most focused on? And are there some industries that you're not yet particularly engaged with, but you're hoping to tap into?
So our technology can really touch the entire creative ecosystem. So if you are doing a film, if you're in gaming, if you're doing social media assets, if you're doing a long form documentary, if you're doing a brand campaign, if you're doing e-commerce assets, really any element of creativity that has content, our technology can really transform how that is done, both in terms of time, in terms of cost, and in terms of quality. Our model is native 4K HDR, so the output is Hollywood grade quality, but the cost is a fraction of what this would have even cost 6 months ago. And in some cases, some of the things that we're doing were impossible 6 months ago. So from that's sort of at a high level, our target market. And then when we drill down into different verticals, advertising agencies are clearly a vertical that we're very, very focused on, and we've already announced 2 milestone partnerships in Publicis and Service Plan. Publicis in particular, the center of that relationship at the outset was very much around the Middle East. We've got some more announcements coming on the advertising agency vertical over the coming weeks and months, which we should absolutely let you know about in time. Secondly is then from a direct to brand perspective. So we're working directly with brands who have in-house teams, in-house agencies to help enable their creative transformations. And there's some fascinating case studies where when we can collapse the creative supply chain, we can then actually help collapse the manufacturing supply chain for certain brands. So it's not just creative transformation, it's real business transformation that we're helping enable. From a film perspective, we're working with some fantastic film directors um, on not only enabling, as I said, Hollywood quality output rapidly and for a fraction of the price, but also people are enjoying using our technology. So multiple use cases and deployments. The technology and what the technology can achieve, I really believe, is ahead of what most people believe is currently achievable. And the challenge that we've got is we need to communicate that to the world so that people can really interact and enjoy our technology.
And I just wanted to ask you, you were saying a little bit earlier on that you see AI as a tool for creatives, and you were saying that in the context of Luma AI being a tool for creatives. But I'm wondering whether to some extent it risks replacing creatives.
I don't see it as a replacement. So I wouldn't have joined, my background is in advertising agencies and working with amazing creatives all around the world. And for me, the opportunity here is to actually enable a creative renaissance. So in the same way that people were petrified about Photoshop in the 90s, that actually led to, more investment in advertising, more investment in creativity. And what we're clearly seeing is Luma is supporting large enterprises with more personalized content, being more rooted in culture, being able to do things faster, to a better quality, at a more efficient price point for their customers. And then if I look at the sort of other end of the scale from an advertising perspective, at least, we've got some fantastic agencies that are boutique creative agencies all over the world. And these are a handful of people, people who have set up their own company, have very deep client relationships, and are doing amazing creative work. And we're helping them elevate their output so that they can be doing multi-million-dollar campaigns for a fraction of the price. And it suddenly puts them into a space where they can be coexisting alongside large multinationals. And that competition is healthy. That competition elevates everyone's game. But we don't see this as a job replacement. We see this as an enabler of incredible work.
Okay, and just lastly, Jason, I want to ask you, is there one application or tool within the offering that Luma AI has that makes you say every time you use it, wow? I mean, something you just find really difficult to comprehend in terms of its power and its wow factor?
It's a great question. And the reason I sort of looked away is that this is such a leap forward that I spend a lot of time talking to people about templates. Because at the moment, when a brand is doing work or when an agency is doing work for a brand, there are templates. And our technology means that you don't need templates anymore. Our autonomous agents can be completely trained on your brand, can be, they're self-aware, they're self-accountable. And this notion that we need every single social media post or every single e-commerce post, e-commerce piece of content to be in a template is a thing of the past. So this technology isn't like a step forward. This isn't about, hey, we can do things X% cheaper and X% faster. This is about taking a real quantum leap forward in how creativity is done. But to directly answer your question, we've done a piece of work for Mazda, the car brand. And the advert is showing the Mazda MX-5 over time since it was first launched, and they're launching a new model later this year. We executed on that advert in under 2 weeks. We generated over 250 synthetic actors who look completely, you cannot distinguish. Now, not only would this ad have cost millions of dollars shooting, I don't know how many cars, 10 different cars over the years with 250 different actors. Not only is it potentially impossible to get all of those cars in the same place at the same time, we did it in under 2 weeks. This isn't about taking a small step forward. These types of things were not achievable even 6 months ago. And the compute and the technology and the appetite to adopt the technology has moved on so quickly that now we are able to do that at scale.
Okay, well, we really appreciate you taking the time to tell us all about Luma AI and your activities in Saudi Arabia and the wider region. Thank you very much indeed. Jason Day, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks, appreciate it.